All right, everybody, welcome to the Erik Anders Lang Show. Very excited for today's interview, which I'll give you a little bit of background on. While we were over at Lofoten Links in Norway, we spent some time with the greenskeeper, Gerry Mulvihill. And obviously, he's a big part of the episode. If you haven't seen it already, definitely go check out the Adventures in Golf up there. It was a very powerful experience. And in some ways, that episode itself, we really tried to make it very personal as far as the experience of driving up there, and the incredible remoteness of the golf course was a big part of it. And so we filmed, it was a 3-hour drive that took us like 7 hours because we just couldn't stop filming the beauty of it. And as we were driving it, I was like, okay, we gotta incorporate this into the edit somehow to really show where we're going. We had this great interview with Gerry, and it was obviously very visually stunning. So if you're listening to this podcast, feel free to check it out on YouTube. We've been posting more podcasts on YouTube where we have the full video 3-camera setup. And some people like that, because you can really see the person and see what they're saying. But if you're just listening, that you're going to notice that this is a different type of interview. And that's kind of one of the things I wanted to address is this was not generated from a production standpoint as a podcast interview. This was completely a filmed interview, and it might give you some insight into how we shoot the show. You'll notice that I don't talk very much because it's not about me in this situation. Ultimately, I'm just trying to get the subject to say as much as possible, so I say as little as possible. But anyway, that's the intro for Gerry Mulvihill. Enjoy the beautiful scenery there, and enjoy the episode if you're listening to it on a podcast network. Again, I look forward to spending more time with Gerry at some point. Maybe we can squeeze in around at Ballybunion one winter. But enjoy the show, everybody. Thanks for supporting what we do, and have a great week. Take one, interview with Gerry, al fresco. Tell me your name and what you do.
Well, my name's Gerry Mulvihill, and I'm a greenkeeper.
Where are you from?
From Ballybunion in Ireland.
What's that like?
It's nice. It's a beautiful seaside golf course, links golf course. So very special, links golf.
How would you describe Ballybunion?
Well, I grew up there, so I don't know, just a great place to live. Kind of quiet in the winter, but I think maybe population 1,200 people. But in the summer then it can be 12,000 people. And just really busy with golfers.
Where did you first learn about golf?
Well, I was caddying for my dad, I suppose, from the age of 7. And, with Ballybunion, all the Americans just caddying in the summer, making loads of money outside. So that's how it started. Started working on the golf course then with the head greenkeeper in the summer, and I just loved it.
What did you learn about golf that made you want to do it?
I suppose just being outdoors, and I don't know, I just love links. It feels good.
What is Ireland like?
Jeez, you kind of got me now. Small little islands. 33% of all the links courses in the world in Ireland.
Well, we're not in Ireland.
No.
Where are we?
We're in the Arctic Circle in Norway. Yeah. Feels like Ireland, though. It's, you got bog, you got beach, beautiful golf course. Feels like home.
Well, it is your home.
Yeah, I suppose it is, yeah.
What does that mean?
Home? I suppose, to me, like I love the job, and if I'm in a place that I like working, that's a big part of my life. So for now, this is home. Yeah, it's good.
You have a connection to this place that probably goes beyond most connections that supers have with their place. Can you talk about that?
Well, I don't know, would I have more of a connection than other supers? I just got lucky. I got approached in 2013. There's a project that once in a lifetime, come to the Arctic, most northerly links course in the world, construction job. pretty amazing. So yeah, it was a huge opportunity and probably the best thing I've ever done.
Challenging?
Very, yeah. Yeah, we're in the Arctic, like we get great summers. I suppose challenging in other ways, and it's been tight budgets, and seasons are very different. You're kind of on site for 8 months and you're disappearing for 4, so you're missing those months that usually you're prepping machinery and doing renovations in the winter. So that way it's been tough, but huge learning curve. The people you work with amazing people there. So people that know golf and have worked in golf for years, and lots of new people, that's never been on a golf course before and have a totally different mindset. So it's cool.
Tell me about Frode.
Frode. Oh yeah, well, he's my boss. Tough guy to work for, but amazing vision. To build a golf course up here, to see it, and he's the plans for the place. And everybody that's come up from the RNA to everyone, they're just amazed. Nobody expects a golf course in the Arctic and to be at this kind of level. It's took a lot of cojones.
At what point did you know what you wanted to do in life?
I remember leaving school. I went to study electronics and telecommunications. I remember after about 2 months sitting in the lecture and just dreaming, like, what's this going to give me? And all I can imagine, I'll never forget it, I just wanted to be out swinging off a telegraph pole or something. I didn't want to be indoors. So I loved being outside. Even when I went to college in England after working 5 or 6 years on a golf course, I went a month late on purpose because I was qualified. But they said to me, listen, you ain't going to last a year, and this is 3 years. I was just bouncing off the seat. So I have to be outside. I love being outside.
Why?
I don't know, I don't know, maybe it's a nervous thing, but I just like being out and moving, and like even in the rain, I won't work in the shade. I like to be outside. So, yeah, it's a great job, like it's.
What do you get from being outside that you don't get when you're inside?
I don't know, I suppose just connection with the outdoors, and you're working on something beautiful and you're enhancing it all the time. So I don't know, it's just a lovely way to live. It's not working on links to me. It's not like a job. It's like a hobby. Working here every day is, even in the winter, it's cool. Obviously in the snow it's not too cool, but yeah, I don't know. Just love the job.
What is your absolute favorite part of this?
Of the job, the construction was amazing. It was just really busy, and I don't know, just a huge learning curve, and I don't know, just every year seeing things progress. And
The beginning was a different course.
when we started, yeah, like we had a 9-hole course, which day one it was meant to be a company coming in. I was just meant to project manage it, and that turned into an in-house job straight away. So it was myself, and we got a shaper, a Scottish guy, Jake McTavish, great guy, finisher Ian Ward from London, and just a small team, and everybody just learning loads and working like dogs, and yeah, it was class.
You and Frode and everybody were given an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Start with the construction, and I suppose a lot of it, like it's designed by Jeremy Turner. We're following his plans, but I suppose day to day things are changing, and you're seeing opportunities, and stick a tee in here and a bunker in there. So it's kind of very organic. Look, it was tight. It was a tight budget, and we still got a lot of work to do. But and we're still open to a bit of criticism about this and that. But it's different. It's something very different, and Look, this place is going to be changing for the next how many hundreds of years. They're still working on St Andrews, they're still working on Ballybunion. It's constantly evolving. That's golf. What? Christ. Oh, I'm talking a lot of shit, am I? I don't know.
It's just too good, mate. You have no idea.
Right, okay.
Is it even a golf course at the end of the day?
Oh, it is, yeah. It's, there's 18 flags out there anyway. Yeah, it's, look, I'll be honest, my whole thing, this is a national park. It's Norway's national park. And it's got to get shown off. You know, it's just amazing. Everything is golf, it's wildlife, it's flowers, it's the ocean, it's the mountains, it's just crazy. There's nothing like this in the world, I don't think.
So you go to 18 holes, and then what happens?
Well, I suppose the next stage was the grow in, which was tough because we're not in Spain, you know, and you can't grow it in 12 months of heat, you know. You got to plan for that winter and the ice and the snow, so you're trying to get everything done in a really confined window. And you can see it, we're into July. Yesterday it's single temperatures, and so growing it in was difficult, and you know, it was done over a number of years. But we actually opened almost a year after, which was crazy. But we done it. So, you know, and since then, since 2015, it's, you know, it's getting better and better every year. It's maturing, you know.
What does a golf course need to be successful?
I suppose you just got to have this, I don't know, something peaceful and, I don't know, kind of wow factor. Too many golf courses, you know, and you read all the books and stuff, and I suppose golf from World War II on got kind of manufactured and kind of resorty, and you know, and with a lot of stuff that's happening now over the last number of years, it's, as Darius Oliver said, we're back in a golden era. Like Lofoten links, and you've got the Cabots and the Bandons, and you know, Bamboogle. You know, it's amazing stuff happening right now in golf. It's a cool time to be involved.
And you're at the top of that list, or close.
Well, we're up in the Arctic looking down, you could say. Yeah, it's amazing opportunity. It's, you know, best thing I've ever done. You know, I can remember the first time coming up here, and you just knew, Jesus, this is huge. Like, it's like finding something, and wow, I can be part of this. So, and then you get people like Jan and golfers every day, and you know, it's just realization that, yeah, we're all thinking on the same wavelengths. This is something special, you know. It's I reckon golf was founded in St Andrews. It could have been founded here. You know, we've had people up from the RNA, and they've said the same thing. It's, you know, it's a special place.
Your first ranking was?
In 2016, we ranked number 51 in Norway, and a year later we moved up to number 20, and then last year we were number 1. So that's why Jan's here now, to, you know, see if we're still good enough.
What does that do for you?
It's just, it's not really for me. It's, you know, the golf course deserve, you know, what's been done here, it just, I don't know, it's clarification for everything that we've been thinking, that what everybody's been thinking, you know. It's, yeah, we're not half mad, I suppose.
Only golf course inside the Arctic Circle?
Oh no, not the only. Geez, no, there's about 17 golf courses up here. But we're the most northerly links in the world. Yeah, but there's golf courses 9-10 hours north of us, in Alta, and yeah.
The others are inland?
They'd be, yeah, I suppose they'd be more parklands. This is classified as a links.
We talked a lot about the challenges this morning. Can you go over some of them that are at the top of your list?
In terms of weather and stuff, and yeah, it's winters here can be brutal. We'll get some snow, but usually it can blow away pretty quick. I suppose we're very lucky in that we're right on the Gulf Stream, but it can get to -12, -15. But wind desiccation would be a big problem here. We had some severe storms now this last winter. Biggest problem I suppose we'd have is the 6 seaside holes. This year now we had a metre of seaweed covering all those seaside holes, gravel, rocks, sands, everything. So that's a big job to clear that off. So, but I suppose it's a trade-off, and as you can see, you're right at sea level, so there's got to be some give and take. And
you go away for the winter and you come back. What's that like?
The first couple of years was scary. Jeez, it was really, because in Ireland everything stays green, and you can be cutting right up to December, but you come back, you leave here, and everything's kind of, it's looking sweet. You're happy going away, and then you come back and it's just dormant. And the first couple of years when we were trying to grow it in, it was really scary. It was like you were starting all over again, and you're scratching your head, and it was, wow, can we do this? But the last couple of years, every year you can see it just maturing and maturing, and you come back, it's dormant, but you've still got it. Actually, in April, it looks like a real lynx because it's so yellow and motley looking. It's beautiful. So it's getting easier.
And then you've got a frost issue.
We do, yeah. It can freeze, I think up to 2 meters deep. We've a lot of drainage out there, and I've never seen 12-inch pipe right at sea, right at the ocean, freezing over. But even on the seashore, it can freeze. But I think it's a good thing for us. It's it's like sticking something in the freezer. You take it back out, and it's exactly the same. So it actually helps us an awful lot. We're trying to grow fescue grass here, and I think the frost can within reason. Obviously, you've got ice burn in the spring. So we had a scary time last year in that it was the first time I came back, and we had, maybe a foot of ice encasement, and I was real worried about, how am I going to come over this? And yeah, we took some of the ice from some of the greens, but within the space of a couple of days, everything's melting, and we were good.
Before talking to you this morning, I don't think I understood the idea of the depth of frost. Can you explain that to me?
Like
frozen ground. I don't really understand it.
Right. Well, I suppose, your temperature drops, and, stuff starts to freeze over. There's actually not a lot of research done on it, and it's something that the USGA I know are looking into, and the RNA. I know in Canada and places they can, once everything hardens off, when it goes, and you're into deep frost, you probably can't actually do that much damage at that stage. But where the damage is usually done is you just get that morning frost, and the plant is full of ice, and then to walk on it, you're bruising it, you're cracking it. So that's where most of the damage is. When it's hardened off, you're probably not going to affect the turf that much. I know in Canada they play golf on courses sometimes with, when it's deep frost. So.
How do you feel about courses that are not as sustainable as what you've got going here?
Well, I suppose everything's changing, and it's not just golf; it's everything, plastic and manufacturing, and it's things are changing big time. We've been lucky. Some of it's just, I suppose, happened by chance. We work on very tight budgets. We work in the Arctic, so some things just fell into place. Working in Norway, you're very limited on pesticides, so we don't use wetting agents. We don't use insecticide. We don't use fungicide. But like some of that, I'm lucky in that because of where I work. You know, if you worked in a hot climate, it's a lot more intense. You know, if you're in Spain or Malaysia. But yeah, I suppose golf's got to get clawed back, and you know, it's probably gone the other way a bit too much. You know, and even in terms of the club and the balls, you know, it's golf courses are going to 8,000 yards now. It's, you know, and where's it going to stop? You know, and then you look at the old beauties like St Andrews, like Ballybunion. You know, they're starting to turn into pitch and putts. You know, and that's not right. So
The chemicals that you just mentioned, that's not the only part of Lofoten that is engaged in sustainability. What else?
yeah, like that's, you know, part of this place. It's just been amazing. Like it's the first big growing job that I've done, but like we had everything on site. There was no lorries coming in here with gravel or sand or, you know, okay, we had to buy drainage pipe and we done some irrigation. But we have everything on site, even our own seaweed. We just have a little area down hole 1, and we just sent it off for testing. But we know, you know, we've been using it for 7 years. You know, and it's better than the stuff that comes out of the bag.
What do you use it for?
Well, we used it for the growing, just to ameliorate the, you know, because some of the sand, when we were bringing in the sand, a lot of it's mixed. You can have iron in it, you can have a lot of organic matter, and then you have some stuff that's just like real beach sand. It's impossible. Some of those fairways like took us years to grow in because we didn't have irrigation. So we were using seaweed and anything we could just to get the grass going, you know.
What is the nicest thing you've ever heard anyone say about this?
I suppose it was a Scottish lady I met that, you know, she just felt that she had nothing to do with golf, but she'd done a lot of hiking, and she just felt that the whole course just, you know, sat inside the environment. And you know, some people criticise that it's not wide enough and there's no bailouts, and then they start playing the course and it's, well, yeah, it's like, you know, golf is meant to be like a game of chess. You're not just meant to hit it where you want. You know, you're going to got to plan out stuff, and that's what this course is. It doesn't take up a big area. You know, our whole mowing areas are 15 hectares. I suppose it's just the setting, and it's yeah.
What do you want someone to leave here learning?
I just want them to enjoy it, I suppose. You know.
Talk about how remote it is.
Well, it is remote. There's 2 cities here, and they're not really cities. They're small towns. You know, 4,000 people. If you want a good night out, you need to jump on a plane. Well, no, you don't need. You can have a good night out here, but if you want to go to a city, you need to jump on a plane.
What was your first winter here like?
I came up in April 2013. Oh no, it was good. We were still in construction. Actually, I remember because it was amazing going from the 24-hour sun, and then you're going into October, November, and we were all doing machine work, trying to get the place ready for next year. So we were kind of opening drains and stuff like that, and it was just amazing because we were keeping the same working hours, but you were going to work in the dark. You'd have the lights on the machine, and next thing it's 10 o'clock before you're turning the lights off, and next thing it's 11 o'clock. And then it's getting darker at 4 and at 3 and at 2, and so it was strange, but we were busy, so it was great. Going from construction to growing was tough, because all your gang are leaving, and you're not building, you're trying to grow it, and it was just new crew, totally different circumstances, and so that was. Yeah.
What is it like to be out there working under the Northern Lights?
Oh, it's cool. Straight up, I've never worked under the Northern Lights. I've been out in them, but usually it's too dark, you know, to do any work.
How would you describe golf to an alien?
How would you describe golf to an alien? I don't know. Without cursing, I don't know how to describe that one. I suppose golf is a mind game, isn't it? It's yeah, it's a mind game. It can mess you up, and you know, you got to be kind of in a nirvana to be enjoying it, and to be, you know, the more you get into it, I suppose, the less it can wreck you, or the more it can wreck your head.
Describe the experience of being out there in the middle of the midnight sun.
Oh, it's amazing. It's you know, and sometimes you kind of want to meet people on the back nine, just you know, we all want to know what they're thinking and get feedback and criticism, and but it's amazing being down in hole 13 and meeting people at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, everybody, it's heaven. It's heaven. It is nirvana. It's paradise. It's, you know, you'll see it tonight, and you'll feel it, and it's just a feeling. That's what it is. So, well, I suppose I'm just, you know, I suppose I'm employed to do a job. Yeah, I suppose it's been personal. At the end of the day, I suppose I'm just a cog in the wheel. But it's been a pleasure. Yeah, very happy.
That's great. I think we got it. Let's hit some wide shots and we're good.
All right.
Just hang out here.
Can you cut sound?
Yeah.